last but definitely not least is the blog post template. And so just for ease of this webinar, I've just created the same size as the social media, but make sure you check out your website's blog template and make sure that you're picking the dimensions that apply to your blog's template so that you're creating the same size image for each of your blog posts basically. So you can add custom dimensions in here, but we are just going to be using the square version. And again, as we've had with the others, we've already got our color palette in there from when we chose our correct colors from before using the HTML color codes website. Okay, so to start off, I've uploaded just a stock photo, and so I hope from this this example you can see how you can use stock photos, but then really make it your own by adding some of your own brand elements to it. So we've got just a plain stock photo there, and what I'm actually going to do is you can play around with filters, but here I would suggest that you use the same filter and any tinting the same every single time. But what I'm going to do is add a color overlay. So this is another thing that you might want to play with in terms of layering, also playing around with the transparency. And so this little box is off the screen, so I'll just show you here. I'm going to make it green, but obviously you can't see the picture. So then I'm going to play around with the transparency. I'll just keep going with that until I have that right. Might want like a very green one or just a light tinge. We want it to still be pretty green. Cool. And then, so we're going to add a purple shape down the bottom. Probably about that high. I'm going to change that to purple. And then because I need exactly the same dimensions, I'm just holding down Alt or Option, or you can just press copy and it duplicates the item. But I'm going to make this one white. And I'm going to send that to the background. Now I'm going to add a little triangle and rotating it. And what this does is gives this rectangle the angular edge. Now you might want to play with some different shapes here. There are some cool, you might do something like have this on every blog post, something like that. But what I'm doing here is resizing so that, I'm going to zoom in for a second, so that this is all perfectly aligned. And align our little base of our triangle and I've accidentally copied the triangle. And you can use your up and down arrows just to nudge it very slightly, as sometimes using the mouse doesn't get the exact movement that you need. Okay, so we've got to add some text. And so because I want to shake things up a little bit and use both of Katie's fonts in this, I'm just doing the 3 as one text, which is the Cation script. And we'll make that wide as well. And then we want to add something a little bit interesting, so we'll use the PT serif in white. And reasons you should start a podcast. Now I want this to be flush with the 3, so I'm going to left align it. And I really only want 2 lines. So what I'm trying to do here is really play on the angles that we've got going on here and also the sizes, so that we make the 3 the size of these 2 lines. Again, it's just personal preference, but it's just playing around with different elements to really get nice cohesive look, but also add a little bit of interest instead of just having one boring font or or just keeping things super duper simple. I'm a little bit lost in what I'm doing. Hang on. All right. So we want to bring that close together. That might be a little too close together. There we go. Alrighty, that's fitting in that purple section pretty well, but we might just need to increase our size on this. And you can actually, if you need a size in between these, you can just type it in yourself. That's starting to look pretty good. Alrighty, it was bigger than I thought it would be. Okay, and now we're just going to add in Katie's logo. Well, the text that's used on her podcast. All right, so I'm going to crop this so that we only get the real logo bits. Perfect. And add that in the bottom there. Now you can play around with the elements if you want to move them around, but basically what we're doing here is Katie can upload a photo, any photo, change this background color to be purple, pink, grey, green, anything that matches her brand colors, and then also change these as well. So each blog post has a similar feel to it, but is slightly different. And there's our original, and there's our new one.